Chapter 262 Leaks. Before I even get into these leaks, I do want to tell you guys that Gak Katami has fallen ill and so Jujutsu Kaisen will be on another 2-week break. Now, at this point, I highly recommend everybody reread the entire arc once it's done because I know people are getting exhausted and they're going to be tired of the breaks. But we know how the manga industry is, we know how manga authors are treated, so let's give Gak's graces and allow him to recover. Him falling ill is also why this chapter is 7 pages, so the leaks video will be very quick this week. I do think that Gak Akami just shortened what was going to happen in this chapter by a lot because the ending is quite sad. The chapter begins with Sukuna in Yutaro, which is the Yuta Gojo fusion. That's what I'm going to call him. And UT manages to reduce the size of his domain expansion to the size of a basketball, like Gojo did in chapter 227, I believe. A couple of things of note here are that Yuji and Tadu are present, but like you know, the battle's going on inside of the domain for the entire chapter, so they've been separated from Gojo and Sukuna. And as this battle continues, the narrator says that the solution Gojo created for Sukuna's open barrier domain is to make a small barrier domain which can withstand the effects of Malevolent Shrine for approximately 3 minutes. Now, take my interpretation of this as, you know, unreliable and with a grain of salt. But this may be telling me that you can beat somebody in a domain clash through making your domain outlast theirs in terms of, like, a stamina endurance kind of thing. Again, take this with a grain of salt, guys. So I don't know if this is what exactly is going on in the chapter. Another thing I do want to mention is the fact that Malevolent Shrine can be activated for 3 minutes now when last time Sukuna could barely use it for about 99 seconds. It's kind of telling. I don't know if this means that Sukuna is recovering his arms or his output or whatever, but I do think that's something you guys should keep note of. I do think Sukuna has a chance of getting away. I know people hate that possibility because we've been fighting him for 50 chapters, but if he gets away, I'm going to die laughing. I'm going to laugh regardless. Let's continue. So, UT says that taking Sukuna's fatigue into consideration, it's possible for me to withstand his domain for 3 minutes just like Gojo. And the narrator then says Sukuna has reduced his effective curse technique range in order to surround UT's barrier, and thus he eliminated Malevolent Shrine's 99-second time limit. Okay, so apparently the 99-second binding vow was connected to Sukuna's massive range when he used his domain expansion all over Shinjuku. You guys were asking for the reveal of the binding vows and what the specifics were there. Sukuna massively increased his domain's range but brought it down to 99 seconds. Now, without the binding vow and the conditions, whatever, it goes for 3 minutes. There you go. And this is why y'all got to let the author cook, man. He can't reveal everything to you guys in one chapter. Gak Katami does reveal stuff. He never fails to not reveal stuff. And like I said, he even reveals the most miscellaneous tiny nonsense details, so things like this are going to be covered. Just give the author time. I'll take the L on it because it's revealed that before the fight, UT swapped souls with Gojo in order to train and improve his barrier techniques. I thought it was Hikari that UT swapped with because he was able to change his coordinates, and Sukuna said that he had a very specific high-level barrier usage in chapter 250, I believe. But you guys called it. I do think that you can theorize Gojo trained Hikari to be able to play with his domain the way he does if you really think about it, because Gojo didn't have the chance to train UT since UT was in Africa right after the events of JJK0, whereas Hikari never really went on a time skip or anything like that. And it was revealed that he trained with Gojo. However, that reveal could be linked to the time skip, but I'm pretty sure he trained with Gojo when he was first a student. He was the first of Gojo's, like, heavy hitters. I'm sure Gojo was very happy to meet Hikari. I'm sure he trained with him and learned all his tricks from Gojo. As the battle continues, UT says that in under 3 minutes, I'll damage Sukuna enough to where he cannot maintain his barrier anymore. And Sukuna is like, I'm going to destroy the infinite void and expand my domain to kill everybody. So basically, this battle has to be decided within the next 3 minutes. It'll probably last 1 chapter after this. I do think this is all just for Yuji to come in and finish Sukuna off while he's, like, at 0% cursed energy strength. Whatever, and just walk over Sua's body, really hoping something like that happens, but we'll have to see. With these conditions placed on this specific fight, I do want to remind you guys of how well it's written, because it's like every single little thing that each character does in this fight keeps them on the precipice of getting instantly eliminated. It feels so dire, so dangerous, like the stakes are truly high. If one character did not distract Sukuna for one chapter here or land this attack in that chapter over there, Sukuna probably would have killed everybody by now. I really think Gak does a good job of reminding the viewer that these characters cannot mess up even one time, or it's over. So they begin to fight, and Yuta tries to pull Sukuna using blue, but Sukuna reduces the distance between him and UT. I'm unsure if this is showing that Sukuna was speed blitzing UT here or if he used blue to accelerate himself towards UT. Whatever's going on here, I think it's supposed to show that UT is not Gojo, and he's going to have a hard time using his techniques. Anyways, Sukuna also catches Gojo's punch with his arm, just showing that he's a beast in hand-to-hand, and lands a punch in his face. UT wonders how Sukuna managed to land that attack on him, but he realizes that alongside domain expansion, Sukuna simultaneously used domain amplification in order to punch through Gojo's infinity. I don't know why he kind of said that in two different ways, but I do think this is showing that Sukuna is just speed blitzing or whatever. It's hard to tell through the translations, guys, but I do suggest reading the full chapter because UT may not be as powerful as we thought he was going to be in Gojo's body. Now, Sukuna, on the other hand, is very excited because he's like, these guys cannot see what's going on in here since the domain expansion blocks out Mai's crows. So he's probably going to end up doing something that lets him come out with his curse technique, or his curse energy replenished or RCT back, and our cast is not even going to know, and they're going to be blindsided by it. I do think that's how this is going to go, and how Sukuna will take advantage of the fact that he's going to decimate UT inside of the domain. This is very important because every single fight in Jujutsu Kaisen has been decided by a sneak attack or something that caught the opponent off guard, something they couldn't predict. These are the kinds of strategies that always win a fight in the series. You don't just simply overpower anybody in Jujutsu Kaisen, it's always catching an opponent off guard with either luck, underhanded tactics, sneak attacks, things like that. So Sukuna taking advantage of this will probably end up screwing everybody over. Then the chapter just ends with a fully manifested Ra crying and grieving as she holds Yuta's dead body.